What is up, everybody, NC?
JC and
We are back with Triple H as a bad booker. It's been a little bit, and we need to do one so badly because this guy is such a just historical fuck up on so many levels, and we need to cover it. So let's talk about this big thing that he's been doing lately. Him and Stephanie McMahon, more so than usual. I mean, they have a whole career of breaking kayfabe, but more so than usual, they've really stepped it up with how much they're really making WWE look fake. But not only to the point where they're making it look fake, but they're like, hey, look, it's fake and we're proud it's fake. We're proud that it's fake shit. We're trying to be a sport, but hey, it's fake shit. So this is what they're doing. And it really became apparent to me when they now have a Netflix show called WWE Unreal. So for the first time ever, this is something Vince would have never done, by the way, they step into the WWE writer's room and outside the ring with your favorite WWE superstars, where the drama is just as intense offstage as it is under the spotlight. Now, what you get to see is if it's any of the WWE superstars, it's just like what you saw in Total Divas. Them all fucking being buddy-buddy with each other. There is no babyface, there is no heel. Everybody is best friends. That's how it is. So, but here, they make it even worse because, yeah, you could say it's just one thing for the wrestlers to do it, but for actually Triple H to not only enable it, but promote it like this is something that no promoter should do. I mean, that's one of the few things that you should keep under wraps is how you're developing these creative angles. And from what we've seen, it's not very creative at all. He has basically a large table full of yes men. So this is what we're peeling back the curtain to reveal. Triple H getting his ego stroked, like usual. That's the peel back of the curtain, the grand reveal, so to speak. But these fans, they're tired of it. They're tired of it, and we're tired of it too. These fans, though, they're opposite tired of it. And what I mean by that is they're tired of people saying that, oh, kayfabe is broken. They're saying kayfabe is broken, deal with it. Like this fan right here. Exposing the IWC, this moron says, kayfabe is dead and it needs to stay dead. Let the talent live their lives and share their lives. Like all actors can. That's the big thing right there. I thought they were sports athletes. Every single one of these dorks makes them out to be like these fucking gladiators in Rome or some shit. No. What you gotta make up your mind. Are they an actor or are they an athlete? Which one is it? They can't be both.
right. I mean, which one is it going to be? I mean, because like with an athlete, it's like you're winning based on your athletic prowess and your strategy, not on how well scripted it is. And so with this, like kayfabe being dead, I mean, do I agree to some extent kayfabe is dead because of social media? Of course. Do I think that you can work shoot storylines to like play upon realism, but then also like work it to where it could be like a storyline? Of course, and you could absolutely do that. But like to say that kayfabe is dead needs to stay dead, I don't entirely agree with that. I think that kayfabe, there is still a need for kayfabe. I mean, and again, like look at the larger than life characters that we have. Even look at AEW. You got Tony Storm. Well, that's not who Tony Storm is in real life. That's kayfabe. So there's some instances where kayfabe is good. There's some instances where kayfabe should not be. Like if you're playing a larger than life character or you're doing like the fucking Wyatt Six bullshit, there needs to be kayfabe. But can you mix a little bit of reality in there? Of course you can, but there needs to be kayfabe still. If there was no kayfabe, there'd be no need for larger than life characters, and there would be no imitatable people, and no one would give a shit.
Vince never did this. This is the one
No,
thing that people don't point out enough is that, yeah, Vince, he knew wrestling is fake, goofy bullshit, but he embraced it. He didn't
right,
try to make it out to be a sport, and he didn't go out on TV and say, yeah, this is fake. I mean, sure, he had to, for the whole steroid scandal he had to do at that one time because he was legally obligated to, but this fucker is breaking kayfabe on purpose and thinks it makes him
right.
look good. Vince only had to do it because he was under oath. Otherwise, he never wanted to peel back the curtain on
No,
wrestling. He never had that intention because Vince is a showman. More than anything, he wants to make you have some sort of disbelief when you're watching the program and some sort of disassociation where you don't think to yourself, hey, these are a bunch of dudes in tights going out and having a fake wrestling match. You were thinking to yourself, okay, man, I really am looking forward to see what Stone Cold does against Undertaker the next week. You're not even thinking to yourselves like, oh, these two guys are doing pretend. This is silly. You're thinking to yourself, these characters are awesome. And they're doing badass shit. And who cares if the wrestling standards aren't up to what these nerds nowadays would like? When it comes to getting pops, when those two come out, the aura that they have, that's the type of stars that we grew up with. That's the type of stars that didn't try to break kayfabe, that tried to keep their characters alive. It's sad that they're the way they are nowadays, especially Stone Cold and Undertaker. But a lot of these wrestlers, they strive to protect their gimmicks. And now it is popular to basically say, yeah, I played a bad guy on TV. Yeah, I play this character. So don't get mad at me in the airport and cuss at me, because I'm just playing a bad guy. It's not my fault. That's how I'm casted to be. It used to be back in the day, if you were a bad guy at the airport, you'd embrace that shit. You'd be like, fuck you, punk. Yeah, come and buy my ticket, bitch. I'll bang your wife. The wrestlers, they had balls, man. They had balls, and nowadays it's just, I play a character, please don't shoot me. It's so sad and pathetic. But you know what? If you weren't aware of where that whole picture came from with all those wrestlers partying, well, I guess it was Bianca Belair's birthday party. I think that's who it was. And everybody, or Natalia, something like that. And they were having this giant birthday bash with everybody breaking character.
I love pickle juice, especially this pickle juice. Grillo's is the king of pickles.
Get paid for that.
The king.
And who else loves pickle juice?
Me.
What? Here, give me some. Can you give me some? Hold on.
Have some.
Jeezy, do it. Also, Trinity,
so good.
Naomi, get over.
It's so good.
So Naomi loves her pickle juice. Naomi loves her pickle. Can I have a little sip? Hold on. How good is that?
It's so good.
Hold on.
It is the best.
I love pickle juice. This video. I gotta take a picture of that. So good. I'm the pickle queen. I love my pickles.
I'm the pickle queen.
No, you're not the pickle
I'm the pickle queen.
We have a pickle.
Oh yeah. We've heard the stories. We don't deny the fact that you got a pickle. But there's just, she's like, look at me, attention on me, and it's just like, come on, dude. But that just goes to show you what we were talking about. You have Bianca and Naomi in the same frame, with all these other people, and we're supposed to really buy this shit. If it wouldn't be good for you and your mama to be in a wheelchair, bro. How can we take this seriously? When what we just saw them partying on a boat. How are we supposed to take this shit seriously?
Then what they might as well do at this point, just make it a fucking reality TV show that integrates wrestling. Like, style it like 90 Day Fiance, but then have them wrestle, and then have them or you could fake drama between them, kind of make it so that it kind of looks like this is who they really are, but then have drama shit going on. Make it if you want to fucking make it, peel back the curtain and make it a fucking drama reality TV show that features wrestling. Go ahead and do that, Triple H. Go ahead and fucking do that, because otherwise what they're doing right now is, because they have liberal use of their WWE accounts and they're just posting the shit out there, they are killing the character and the storyline that you and your fucking talentless creative team are spending time building. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna let them run wild on their fucking social media accounts and break kayfabe, or are you gonna fucking crack the whip? What's it gonna be?
I'm gonna let it play on the party boat. Full-grown women. Some of these have children. That's the crazy thing.
I know. It's if they're gonna do that, honestly, and I think they should do this. Fuck it. Make it a reality TV show. Make it look like 90 Day Fiance beats professional wrestling. Do that. I mean, fuck it. You might as well be better than the shit they're fucking putting on TV now.
Well, and I hate to say it. I mean, honestly, I would rather watch anything from Total Bellas or Total Divas than anything modern female wrestling. Because at least there's some sort of storyline going on. It's not just boring, botchy, shitty wrestling from these untalented bitches. At least you see them try to be somewhat entertaining outside the ring. It's not by much, but it's something. But when you look at the person who's in charge, talking with his wife and talking about it like this, you can understand why they act the way they do.
The character becomes more intense. The water spit, which became iconic. I'm standing on the apron facing fans and spitting water at them like I'm the champ. it would get such a reaction when I would do it. I'm like, all right, I'm keeping that. So it just started to morph into different things. Like, for example, when I would walk out onto the stage and the light was underneath me, that was me going back to something that Kowalski had told me very, very early when I was training, where he was like, always be present in what you're doing and where you are. That way, he's like, your career will go by fast, but you'll always remember things because you'll have taken a moment. So it morphs over time, right? The light gets added, the water spit from, I'm now making a presentation out of that. Hey, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it more celebratory. Hey, can you guys light me from above? So when I do the water, it'll all glisten in the light and make a bigger, even bigger presentation. It just morphs along the way.
And the crazy thing is he thinks that's what people want to hear. We want to hear how you learn to spit the water into the light so it reflected off the light and it looked so cool with the water mist hanging in the air. We don't care about the dynamics of your water spit, bro.
Such a mark for himself.
Yeah,
he's such a mark for himself. Like, and like that's why we're seeing all we're seeing. The WWE unreal shit. Triple H putting his name all over the fucking the credits. Him like main eventing, headlining his own Hall of Fame ceremony.
It's all about me.
It's all about him, and this is why you don't let mark-minded veteran wrestlers run wrestling companies. Is this is what you get? They make it all about them, and they'll fucking backstage politic and screw people over to maintain their spot and or get their spot and maintain it. Like this is just what they fucking do. This is why you don't put them in positions of power. Not only that, but especially like what is he 55 now? This motherfucker qualifies for AARP. This in 10 years he'll be qualified for fucking Medicare. Like he's way too fucking old to be in touch with what young people care about. Get him the fuck out of there. And the other problem too is like those you could have the best writer. You could hire Cobra Kai writers, Rick and Morty writers. You could hire fucking Game of Thrones. You name the show. You name the movie. They could hire the best writers in the fucking world and paying them assholes like millions of dollars. It's not going to matter because at the end of the day, this big nose motherfucker is deciding on what the product's going to be, and he'll take those creative ideas, he'll take those storylines and go, well, I don't know, it's on a 20-minute match with no story. Scrap it. That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing about him is that he more than anything, he's a match mark, and it's all around with these bookers. They all want to get the Meltzer ratings. As much as people talk shit about Meltzer and the nerds, even they talk shit about Meltzer, all of these bookers, whether it be Tony Khan, Court Bauer, Triple H, Shawn Michaels even, all of them put relevance on getting the Meltzer stars because that lets them know that they're putting on real graps, so to speak. And that's what Triple H tries to do more so than putting on a storyline. He would rather get the approval of the internet saying that WWE is no longer sports entertainment, but the best pro wrestling company around. He would rather get that approval than any sort of acclaim of having, actually Emmy Award-winning writing or something that's actually worth putting on the big screen for that matter. That's why he's really nichified the fuck out of WWE. At least with Vince McMahon, for all his faults, he really had an emphasis on making WWE a global entity and really putting it out there. Triple H wouldn't have had that ability to do so if Vince didn't build him the platform to do so.
No,
like
no way.
this him buying AAA, getting TNA under his wing, working out deals with New Japan, working out deals with WWC. This would not be possible if he did not have the empire that Vince McMahon had built worldwide. If anything, if Triple H had his own indie promotion, it would be like a shitty version of NXT that probably goes bankrupt in about 3 years because he has no financial backing. Granted, he's a millionaire, but how much of his own money is he willing to put into his own passion project? It's not like Tony Khan, where he's just got money for days, for ages, to just spend on shitty wrestling. No. Triple H, he was operating under that money pit for the longest time with NXT. For as much as people said Black and Gold Wrestling is the best wrestling that I've ever seen, nobody did it like Triple H back in the day. What they failed to mention is that back in that day, that NXT had a big time deficiency. Everybody was talking about, the great matches. Nobody was talking about how it was a money pit. They weren't making any money off of it at all. Even at Full Sail, when they were cutting back on costs, weren't making any money. No big stars, lowballing all the talent, still ain't making money. Not even when they went to Barclays Center, still ain't making money. It's like, It was all a ruse. It's all gaslighting, like Triple H has done throughout his entire career. It doesn't matter if it's NXT main roster. He is a professional gaslighter, a liar, a deceiver, a man that will do anything he can to ruin wrestling, seemingly. And it only gets worse every year. It's like the breaking of kayfabe only gets worse. I thought it wasn't going to get any worse after he did the whole Mark promo back in, like, I believe 2016. I was like, okay, it can't get any worse. No. He got way fucking worse. NXT made him out to be one of the biggest marks I've ever seen in my entire life when it comes to anybody involved in wrestling, not just bookers, but pro wrestlers. Like, you want to talk about New Japan, Ring of Honor, PWG, butt-loving dorks. Triple H was one of them, hardcore. Still is to this day in a lot of ways.
It's why it just does not matter who you bring in writer-wise. Is you could hire the best writers, and it's not going to make a difference. It's going to go through the fucking meek writer of Triple H's fucking match mark creative. It's the problem. It's like it does not matter until he is fired and his team is expunged from WWE. Things will not change. Now, with all that being said, can things change? Sure, things can change. TKO can get tired of him. Netflix can, put more demands on the creative team and say, hey, we want, higher viewership. And anything could happen. Anything could happen. And we're going to cover a story on the news that, needs to be talked about. But, it could portend some good things or some bad things, depending on how you look at it or who's looking at it. But yeah, Triple H needs to be fired out of this role. He's extremely out of touch, and bringing like a TV camera crew into the fucking writer's room. Like, how much more can you break kayfabe than that? Like, that to me is like the biggest form of breaking kayfabe, because you're showing how the fucking meat's being made.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like, I can understand that he has to fulfill some sort of program obligation to Netflix to keep on giving them content, but there are so much better ways of doing this. We could have done like a basically like a little docuseries, almost like what is the ESPN's 360 series, where you show what it was like for these wrestlers growing up before they got into wrestling. What their lifestyle was like, especially the ones with a more interesting life story. He can also even do something like ESPN 360, where you show them training for their match. If you're going to play it out to be a sport, at least show that aspect. The training that goes into pro wrestling, the training that it takes to be one of the best, the cardio drills that they got to go through, how many days that they're training, as opposed to competing. That's the part that we always hear about. We always hear about these wrestlers having to just bust their ass doing wrestling drills, bust their ass in the gym. We never get to see it. Every once in a while, you have somebody like Sheamus who shows out like his workouts with a WWE wrestler, but for the most part, you don't see what goes on in their training. You don't see them practicing moves, nothing like that. Now, granted, that might be pulling back the curtain as well, but I'd rather have something like that than them actually going backstage and showing the developing of these shitty storylines. That, to me, is the biggest slap in the face that you can do in pro wrestling that no other promoter has done before. It's not revolutionary, it's toxic. There's a reason why people have avoided it beforehand.
Well, what it shows to me is that the current regime in WWE, and TKO doesn't give a fuck. They're counting the money. They don't care. What they're probably doing right now, and this is them fully catering to the online neckbeard matchmark audience, the social media audience. This is ironically it is so fucking ironic for them to say that they don't listen to social media, but yet that's the exact audience that they're catering to, is the social media crowd, the people that are going to care enough about WWE to go watch Unreal and see how the meat's being made. This is like, it's so hypocritical for Triple H to say that when he's doing
Why are there so many pictures? I'm not just one, multiple pictures, and this has been since NXT, of Triple H on Twitter or Instagram. You can usually tell by the photos, while he has the headphones on and he's booking a live show. So this guy is on the clock, granted he's the boss, but he's on the clock goofing around on Twitter when he should be doing his fucking job and calling the spots and getting angles ready and all this other shit. Letting the referee know when to finish, all this other stuff. Instead, he's literally goofing around on Twitter. What would Vince be doing at that time? He'd be yelling at fucking Michael Cole to stop being a dork. He'd be controlling the action, controlling the camera angles, making sure you see something that's not this fake sports bullshit that we got nowadays.
Yeah, it's just all going to be about him because he's a fucking egotistical glory hog. So yeah, he's going to make it all about him. He's going to post pictures of him in the fucking gorilla position with the headset on. He's gonna post pictures of him posing with the talents, taking pictures with them. He's gonna bring a fucking camera crew into the fucking writer room to make it all about him. He's gonna put his name on the credits, headline his own Hall of Fame. Like it just gets to a point where it's just absurd. It's just fucking absurd. And this is what this all is. This is in the Triple H putting himself over era, and people are wondering why the ratings are going down. Well, here you fucking go. But the funny thing to all this is that as he's doing this, the more and more he exposes himself as the egotistical asshole that he is, the more and more fans are turning on him. You're seeing more and more fans now shit on Triple H than you ever have.
Oh yeah, and I love it how he is putting over his stupid little card opening show that he does with Sam Roberts, and so many people in the comments were like, "You're a fucking idiot, nose man. Why the fuck is WrestleMania moving again? Why is it going to Vegas?" And blaming him for TKO shit. So you know what? Hey, you want to take all the responsibility? You take the good with the bad then. And I love that. I finally people are holding him accountable for all the greedy shit that TKO is doing. How does it feel? How does it feel, Triple H? For the longest time, everybody was passing the buck on him. Oh, it's creative. It's that evil piece of shit, Bruce Pritchard. Vince McMahon is still getting his ideas in. I bet you anything it's Brian Gewirtz. It's fucking Road Dogg. Always somebody to blame. And now they're finally blaming Triple H. It is a good time to be on social media. You see a lot of geeky shit, but at least you're seeing these geeks finally say something about Triple H, that he's not the great booker that they all thought he was, that they're starting to see chinks in the armor. You know, this is something that we wouldn't have seen out of fans in 2024 and 2025. They're as stupid as they are, these low IQ fucks are being enlightened. They're seeing that Triple H is not the guy to lead wrestling into the next wave. And here's the crazy thing too, is you even see some of these accounts say, yeah, the Vince McMahon guy wasn't so bad, huh?
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? You're seeing them now putting over Vince. Vince, it'd be, he wasn't this bad. That's true. It's true. Vince was not. It's Bruce's fault. Bruce.
It's all Bruce's fault. Just blame Bruce Pritchard. Even though Bruce Pritchard is literally just strapped in a chair in a dungeon eating fish heads. He don't do shit.
Bruce is really not doing anything. I mean, what you're seeing on TV is all Triple H for the most part. But yeah, man, I would have never thought that there would have been this many people turning on Triple H this soon, but it's happening. It's happening. And, people are facts are now coming out about WrestleMania, the fact that it was not legitimately sold out, that there were a lot of empty seats, in that WrestleMania, that it looked full, but there was a lot of empty sections. So, they're not selling out shows like they used to. And the fact that they're having to go back to Las Vegas shows me that they're not confident that they could sell out New Orleans.
Well, it's one of those things where it's a TKO move. They probably realize, you know what, with how fast Night of the Champions sold out over for Saudi, it sold out in under 2 hours. They probably see something like that and they're like, you know what, this is prime. We can sell it to Saudi and they'll actually make money with it. Let's bleed this dry for a couple years, maybe 1 or 2, and then we'll sell it over to Saudi. And I'm thinking or even Vince for that matter, I'm thinking that TKO was looking to just bleed this WWE sponge dry before moving on to something else. That's what it really feels like. And that's why I feel that they would do Vegas 2 years back to back. Because at this point, it's not about pleasing the WWE fan base because, they're not long-term customers. They're short-term. It's about pleasing TKO executives and their bottom line and making sure they make as much money as possible for that fiscal year. And that's a great way right now is by gouging the fuck out of these WWE marks. They're like, you know what? There's more lucrative WWE marks out there than there are UFC marks. So let's really lean on WWE right now to do more Vegas shows because that has always been TKO's main area is Vegas. That's where they make a lot of their money because of UFC and their, ties with that. But with WWE, yeah, you're going to start seeing more Vegas shows because that is a big hub for TKO. But also because they saw how much money they can make off of it, especially with the WWE experience and these autograph signings. $500 just to shake John Cena's hand and smile with him in the picture. when they're able to gouge the fans like that with the WWE experience, with these meet and greet packages, with these backstage VIP packages, with all these different packages, when they're really able to gouge the fans like that, it makes for a situation where they're like, okay, maybe we can do this again. Maybe we can keep on doing this. Let's see how much we can keep on doing this. I don't think they're going to do it a third year in a row. I think more than anything, we'll probably see an international show. I think we could see a Saudi or London show for 2027. But yeah, I don't think it's far-fetched to see 2 years in a row of Vegas because of the money that they made. It's all about making the money at this point, man. That's what it's really all about. If they can make that money, then they'll be good to go. And it just, yeah, well, that's why we had to talk about it. We had to talk about the corporate greed. It's out of control right now with TKO. Just that we've never been gouged like this as WWE fans ever. Ever.
No, I mean, well, they're trying to make every little, penny that they can. And hey, good on them. If these fucking marks are willing to pay all that money, fuck it, let them pay all that money. But, I just look at it like this, is that you can't grow like this when you can't increase profits really if you're continually catering to the same fan base. You got to grow the fan base, and Triple H just can't do that. And you look at the viewership for Raw, you look on Netflix, you look at SmackDown's viewership, you look at the attendances going down again. So it's like this is not heading in the right direction for TKO and WWE. So I mean, they're eventually going to have to fire Triple H and bring in new writers and a new creative team, but they're probably not going to do that. So,
We'll see what happens. I mean, it's just I see it as just one of those things where maybe it might get to a point where the ratings drop so low where they have to get in there and do something, and they definitely have a backup plan if that's the case. I know The Rock is very tight with Nick Khan. He's very good with Ari and Mark Shapiro, so they're gonna go with Dwayne over Triple H. That's a fact, So I think for now they're just playing peacemakers. They're keeping everything cool because they realize that Triple H keeps these whiny ass SJW talents happy. And since he keeps them happy, and keeps them in line, so to speak, they don't have to worry about it. It's basically like he's a glorified babysitter. Since they have that glorified babysitter there, they don't have to worry about WWE. Just let this nerdy machine keep on making money while we step back and just let it do its thing. That's what it comes down to. So, Triple H, as long as he's passionate and healthy enough to do it, they'll let him do it until he brings the ratings to record lows. And trust me, with Raw getting really bad lately, 2.6, 2.7, and then even Brandon Thurston was talking about it. He was talking about how in comparison to last year, they're actually slightly lower than the Raw on USA Network ratings. That's the crazy thing about it, is now we have this worldwide span and slightly lower. So we're losing fans every year. And they're not talking about this. It's a boom, but we're losing fans every year on the flagship show of the biggest company in pro wrestling.
And they're not selling out shows anymore like they used to. The only shows they're selling out are in Saudi right now.
Pretty much. That's just how bad it is, man. It's to the point where look how long it takes for them to sell out a show because of these ticket prices. It's to the point, even for WrestleMania, they did not have either night sold out until the day of. How bad is that? Have we ever seen a WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, ever have a problem selling tickets like this one?
No, I mean, we were mentioning during WrestleMania night one, we're talking about look at all these fucking empty seats. How are they going to fill this? And then you got in the middle of the show, Shawn Michaels, we had a record sellout. I'm like, bullshit, buddy. I can see the fucking empty seats on TV. What are you talking about? So they're just straight up lying about this shit. They could say anything else otherwise. They're lying about it. They're not selling out these shows like they used to. The momentum is going backward for them. And, this is what happens when you let Triple H run your creative team. This is what happens when you cater to the internet smart crowd, is they're going to run out of money and you're going to be left to cater to the casuals. And unfortunately, you got nobody on that roster other than Cena who can cater to the casuals. You got nobody.
I really want to see what the peak rating was for R-Truth and John Cena, because I bet you anything it was that match and their segments that actually got people to tune in. And what happens? He drew the most ratings, that's why I got to fire him. It makes a whole lot of sense. We'll talk more about the R-Truth firing on the news. But it's just, that made no sense to me. This guy probably brought you in your best rating for Saturday Night Main Event that you've had in a long time, and you fire him a week later. Weird.
It is weird to let him go like that. Now, maybe, he was going to finish up after his last match with Cena and one SmackDown appearance. Who knows? But it is really weird to just let him go out of the blue like this, and with Carlito as well. So, man.
I don't think Sean is a man of God. I think he does a good job of saying he's a man of God, but no, that guy ain't a man of God. I'm sorry.
He's a corporate dick licker. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a hypocrite, in my view.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a situation where I don't think people are talking enough about what Triple H is doing as far as being detrimental. And in fact, they're making excuses for it. That's what really bugs the fuck out of me is, oh yeah, of course it's dead. Get with the times, you fucking old fart. And I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about, dude, this is something that people already know is fake. This is something that they're struggling right now to make cool. This is the most frustrating part. They are struggling to make WWE relevant to young people and cool, to the point that they got Travis Scott as the Raw intro. They are grasping for straws to get the 18 to 35 crowd. They want them more than anything, and they don't have them. They don't have them anymore. All they got is these 50-year-old weirdos living in basements, jacking off to hentai wrestling porn. This is who they got left, man. They don't have real casuals anymore, and that's the sad part about it. He's lost them, and he's not getting them back by going out there and saying, oh yeah, this is fake, come watch it. Yeah, it's fake, it's fucking stupid, come and watch it. Well, how's that going to entice them? At least back in the day, Vince didn't scream in your face it was fake. He just gave you entertaining characters. Like, everybody at the water cooler knew it was fucking fake. Everybody knew it was fake, but they were entertained by it because you didn't worry about, oh, it's these guys trying to go out and put on a fake fight. There was less emphasis put on the fake fight and more on the story that you're seeing. That's what people wanted to see more than anything, and they never knew they wanted to see it until really the Attitude Era, was that soap opera, that male soap opera. And once they saw that, they're like, wow, okay, this is better than these stupid fake wrestling matches that we were watching. I hate to say it.
Yeah,
and it's a forgotten art. It really is.
It absolutely is. And it's just, even as a wrestling fan, I'm offended that they're going as far, if you want to break kayfabe a little bit, I'm fine with that. But bringing the fucking camera crew into the creative team, the writing room, that's over the top. That's ridiculous. That's only gonna put over Triple H. What wrestlers are really gonna put over?
Well, I can't see it putting over any wrestler for that matter, but if anything, it's just going to expose Triple H even more when people see his creative ideas that he had set up and just the lack of creativity in that writing room. Once they start to see how the cogs are turning there and the curtain is peeled back, they'll realize how much of a fucking idiot he is. They'll realize what we have been preaching about for the longest time, that this guy is a low IQ mark that only wants to book for Dave Meltzer and IWC dorks. He does not want to book for a casual crowd. He doesn't give a shit about a casual crowd. If he was getting NXT crowds, as long as he's making the fucking paychecks, that's all he cares about. As long as he's able to pay the talent, that's all he cares about. He's a guy that has coasted by without a single ounce of knowing what it's like to be a realistic booker, actually building a federation, building a company up from the ground up. He's proved in those 72 weeks that he tried to go up against a billionaire and he got his ass whooped. Yep. The peak of WWE to a lot of these nerds. NXT Black and Gold got the shit beat out of it by Tony Khan, and Tony should be proud of himself for that. That he was able to do something that proved to this day that Triple H is not the booker that he claims to be. When you're losing to a rookie like that, a guy with a couple years of booking experience, embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. And we were talking about what he had to do, how he had to bring in people from the main roster just to pop any sort of a number. It was pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic, but this is what Triple H does. This is the type of guy that he is. And this is why he doesn't care about peeling back the curtain. Because you know what? He's like, you know what? I got my job. I got my wrestlers that I want. Fuck you. It's all about what he wants. And he's got his way. So you know what? That's why I see with him getting NXT Mexico going, eventually NXT Japan, UK, all this other bullshit, he's getting the system ready for when he has to leave. So if he does leave, it's already set. Let the machine run.
Yeah, or if, it gets acquired by a former family member of his, he'll be, he'll have his shit squared away and he'll be out the door. But yeah, it's, it's really, pathetic that Triple H is still in this creative role, but the good news is that you're now seeing a lot of even NXT Black and Gold fans that were putting him over coming to the realization that, yeah, this motherfucker ain't creative. Yeah, this ain't it. And the narrative that I'm hearing from even JD from New York is is the show bad? No. Is it boring? Yes. Well, that's worse than being bad because at least if it's bad, there's something to talk about. If it's boring, there's nothing to talk about.
Well, that's aren't they kind of the same thing? I'm just saying,
I think boring is worse than bad because at least with bad, if something is over the top, goofy, and stupid, at least there's something to talk about. There's an emotion that I'm going to feel. If I'm just bored because it's just meaningless wrestling matches, then no, that to me is worse than bad. So yeah, it's just JD fucking. I'm sorry, no, good.
No, I hear you, man. he's a broken record. He's afraid to alienate. Exactly, he's afraid to alienate his fan base. That's the sad thing about it, is he's afraid to be himself. So, guys, let's go ahead and get to some super chats. We forgot to get Garza last time, so he was saying that it goes like Liv and Dom are cornered. Roxanne and Rack are gonna beat up Liv, but Raquel clotheslines Roxanne. Finn in shock that his plan didn't work. Then the entire JD attack him. Dom takes charge of JD. That's what I always thought they were going to do. It kind of felt like they were going to make Dom the leader of Judgment Day. I don't know why they haven't yet. It's kind of like a faction without a leader if you really look at it. But if anybody's going to lead that faction, it should be Dom. You know? And I could definitely see with Dom being some sort of catalyst, luring in a Liv and Roxanne feud. I could definitely see Rox Dom being a thing. I hate to say it, but that's the thing about Triple H, is he likes to show you how he's going to book, and there's no punchlines pulled about it. That's how it is. Plain as day, easy to see.
Well, and like the thing that we've said repeatedly over and over and over is that, like, I don't want to shit on Triple H. I want to praise the guy. I want to say he's doing a great job. I want to say it, but I can't. I can look at the ratings, and I can look at the dropping ticket sales and the horrible merch sales, and like I can't put it over. Like, objectively, like, I look at the facts and I can't put it over. The ratings are at record lows, even though it's airing worldwide, and you got an entire week to collect the viewership data. The ticket sales are dropping. They're not selling out, and they're just straight up lying about that shit now. Like, you can't put any of this over. So I have no choice but to fucking shit on Triple H, because he just digs his heels in and does not give a shit.
He does not, man. That's why it's so easy to have a series like this running and not really feel bad, because he's a terrible person that has done a lot to really trash wrestling and make it to the point that it's almost irreparable. That's how bad it is. Like, he's really, really fucked up pro wrestling and made it bad for everybody else too, with buying out all these companies, especially if that NWA rumor is true. What's next, MLW? You gonna get them too? Fuck, man. So, Dustin the Grim said, what was the last entertaining thing WWE has done in your opinion? For me, it was Southpaw Regional Wrestling. My opinion, the last thing that WWE has done is a Brian Gewirtz written project, and that was the John Cena heel turn. Yeah. And even then, it was good for one segment and then never went any further because they didn't have Gewirtz writing it. It was Triple H in charge of it, and it fucking sucks. So, they did that. Yeah, pretty much that.
I agree.
King Marcus was saying, jobbers in the Attitude Era have said better insults and crude comments than today's wrestlers cooking. Oh, dude, when I see these fucking dorks howling laughter and say, he is cooking, LFFAO, shit like that, it's always the weakest fucking just PG Sesame Street writing that I've ever fucking seen. These people don't know what trash talking is. They've never seen any sort of raunchy stand-up specials at all growing up. They probably turned the TV off out of being offended. They don't know what comedy is. Liberals do not know what comedy is. They are broken when it comes to comedy.
Well, they're just so fucking weak and soft and just pussified that they can't go there. They can't go to that edgy space where you can actually tell the good jokes. No, it's just all fucking, safe fucking SpongeBob humor, not, anything biting. But it's just it just is what it is. It's just liberals are pathetic. They really are.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that this big-nosed fucking Mark idiot has flooded pro wrestling with them to the point that you can't let heels be heels because of what this fucking idiot has done. All these sensitive fucks will complain and dox and do all sorts of stupid shit just because of a wrestler is trying to actually be in character. God forbid, in the day and age of breaking kayfabe, that somebody actually tries to be in character.
Yeah, this is that internet audience that we've been talking about. This is who Triple H is ultimately trying to cater to.
Exactly. So Alejandro was saying, which reign of terror was worse, Jarrett or Triple H? I'm always going to go with Triple H just because he's way more influential than Jeff Jarrett. A lot of people forgot about Jeff Jarrett when he wasn't on TV in AEW. They're like, that guy. But with Triple H, his influence has been too much. And with Reign of Terror, just keeping Booker T from ever getting into a spot of, main event, I think that was kind of fucked up. But whatever, I would say probably Triple H.
No, I would agree, and I would also point out the ratings. Like, you saw with Triple H's Reign of Terror, the ratings going down and down and down and down and down, and it didn't give you really anything of value. Like, it didn't give you a ratings boost. It did not give you, it did not make the business even hotter and sell even more tickets. I mean, was he a good character on TV? Sure, I'll give him that. Was he a massive draw like a Stone Cold or Raw? No. Should he have had a reign of terror? I still say no.
No, because that's the thing, though, is I think it's been said best about him before. He's the guy that works with a guy. That's the best way you can describe Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DX, 100%. Yeah.
So King Marcus said, you just know the increasing criticisms are eating him up from the inside. He's becoming more passive aggressive. Well, it was prevalent on WrestleMania weekend when he was just spending all that time. He had a complete week to promote WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. Instead, he cried and complained about the internet. The same crowd who he was just kissing their fucking ass. I was like, oh, fuck the internet. Fuck a fan. Fuck, just all this shit. Just going off.
If you don't like it, I got 2 words for you. Fuck off.
Exactly. That's the type of shit that just makes him look like such a petty douchebag. Like, bro, you are 10 years away from getting a Denny's senior citizen discount. Chill. Chill.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, it's getting to the point now where even the smarks are like, yeah, Hunter, this shit ain't working. Yes needs to get gone. Like, he's like, I'll say this, like, I would not be surprised if he's gone in 6 months from now. I wouldn't be surprised.
Could be. DB4Live says, looks like so far Zero is on point with everything. Plus, word around the campfire is that after SummerSlam, another round of cuts are coming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as you can see, they're still leaking out cuts. I mean, you got R-Truth. If we're to believe what has seen with Carlito, Bailey has been hinting that she wants out, so she may be heading out in July.
Nikita Lyons, you'll see gone. Yeah,
Nikita Lyons more than likely will be gone. There's a lot of talent that are definitely going to be cut, and I can believe that. Cuts after SummerSlam. I don't think enough talent was cut, because usually back in the day when Vince was cutting, you would see 30 talents at once. You only saw, 15? It didn't feel like that much in comparison to previous years, so. But I will say, as far as Zero goes, the guy has been on point about everything. I'm grateful to Retro Neon. He's been sending me some stuff from his Discord. And, it's everything that he's saying, and even what he said on TWR News earlier in the year, a lot of it has come true. What was he saying about NXT? He was saying that they were going to start taking a lot of the top talent at NXT and putting it on Raw and SmackDown. And what do you see? You see Julia on Raw. You see Stephanie Vecchir.
Jordan Grace.
See Roxanne Perez. Jordan Grace over on SmackDown. You're seeing all these NXT talents. You're hearing rumors about Ricky Starks coming up because he just lost the title. Obafemi coming up. You're hearing all these rumors. Ethan Page, about them Trick Williams, about them liquidating NXT, so to speak, and bringing in new challengers, and it really feels like they're doing that. I mean, it even felt like they were doing that by bringing in like guys like Mike Santana. Like, maybe they're trying to make like this mix of TNA, Evolve, and LFG as like the new NXT, and then bring up who they feel is capable. So definitely Zero has been spot on about a lot of that shit, about Braun Breaker being a talent that they were going to put a lot of emphasis behind. I mean, I think that's a huge endorsement. I know the fans don't agree, but that's a huge endorsement if Triple H puts you alongside Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins is his golden boy. If you're with Seth Rollins, you're legit. And I have seen from backstage pictures of Braun Breaker with Triple H. H likes him. And that's a good thing for him.
Yeah, well, and it's not just Seth. Like, even with Seth Rollins, that'd be a big person that Triple H favors. But he's also pairing him with Paul Heyman.
Yeah. With Zero, he got his hookups through people in the industry, and even with what Triple H has done with trying to swerve him, because he's done this for a while now, where he tries to swerve Zero and swerve all these dirt sheets. Zero still calls the shit ahead of time, because a lot of it is just inevitable. I mean, especially with all the TNA relationships. The big one coming up is if NWA is going to be working with WWE. I think we could see that happening after Natalya went over there and worked with them. But I think anytime you start seeing WWE talent work over in other companies, I think that's a good sign that the companies are working with WWE. I mean, look no further. Carlito just won the WWC Championship. So after you see something like that, you're like, okay, he's WWC is probably working with WWE. It's not too far-fetched.
Well, and just look at the two people. So, like, Carlito and R-Truth. I mean, these are both men over the age of 40. Like, they're really looking to cut down on the older roster and bring in a youth movement, and they should be.
And that's good. At the same time, though, you have people like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano who are beat up and old and not doing anything for the show. Candice LeRae is beat up and old, not doing anything for the show.
Well, they don't draw.
They don't draw, and yet they're still there. They feel like consolation hires, and I hate that shit because they got hired back for no fucking reason at all. Metalhead was saying, he didn't have the right look. I'm shocked that he kept R-Truth for around as long as he did. I'll be perfectly honest, you know. But
no, me too, because he's never been like really a Triple H guy.
Yeah, no, never. He's always been a Vince dude. I mean, he's always been shown hanging out with Vince, having a good time with Vince, and maybe this is a good situation. He's already labeled himself Ron the Truth Killings on his Twitter handle. Maybe this is a good situation for him to go back to TNA and be the world champion that he's supposed to be.
Well, let me give you a little bit of news on that. So, Tommy Dreamer went ahead and posted on Twitter. Let me see where it says. Okay, he says he's still seeing every time at Ron Killings. What's up? Hit me up. This is from Tommy Dreamer's Twitter account.
Good.
Wait here. There we go. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer says he's still seen. It's got a picture of Ron Killings TNA. Says he's still seen. He's in at Ron Killings. What's up? Hit me up. Okay. Yeah. So this is Tommy Dreamer's actual tweet. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Cool. And it's good.
So yeah. Oh no. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. For those that don't know about Ron the Truth Killings, he has a huge history in NWA and TNA. Like, he was a long-time reigning champion there, very dominant champion, and really a focal point for the company, for TNA especially, for a long time.
No, he absolutely was, and it's pretty crazy, but yeah, I mean, Tommy Dreamer, for those who don't know, like in TNA, he is the talent relations guy in TNA. So he's the one that's talking to the talents, working with the agents. I think you will see Ron Killings in TNA within about 6 months. I think you're going to see him pretty soon in TNA. And quite frankly, I think it would be a good move for him.
Maybe less, maybe even 3 months, maybe even a month. Who knows? We don't know his clause, so we'll see, man. But Dustin the Grim said the WCW YouTube channel just uploaded Super Brawl 01. WCW in their dying days was still better than anything going on today. Well, that's the thing, too, is they were just throwing shit against the wall, and trying everything they could. So, yeah, it's like the chaotic nature of WCW in its dying days is still more entertaining than WWE, which is so safe and so controlled. And just everything is so homogenized, and it feels so corporatized. It feels just like... It feels like you're watching something made for robots. It doesn't feel like it's made for humans, to be quite honest. Private 81 said, they're saying now better than Vince, I guess. I know. Isn't that the trip? Even the nerds are saying, like the hardcore IWC nerds are saying, it's now better than Vince, I guess. What happened to back in the day when you're saying, Triple H is way better than Vince? He would fucking rock it as leader. How many times were they saying back in the day? This is since 2015. Can you imagine how amazing WWE would be if Triple H was running it? All of them.
All the time. Like, and what they're too dumb to realize is that it was a 1 hour show every week. That's all he had to book. That's not difficult. And even then it was boring.
That's a trip, is that even with 1 hour, and we even went back and watched one just because we had to remember how shitty it was. It was an hour-long one with like, Zelina Vega in the ring doing an opening intro with Andrade, and he was talking shit about Johnny Gargano, and it was awful. Like, and then the whole show was just bad. It had, like, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and then, like, the Keanu Reeves dude, whoever. What the fuck? What was that motherfucker's name? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Something like that. It's Keanu Keys, some shit like that. Some Hawaiian guy. And then they had Velveteen Dream on the show, and then I think Baby Elias. But it was so poorly structured, so fucking boring, so sloppy. And it was like, okay, even with an hour, this is how boring this fucker can be.
Like, all it was just an hour of indie wrestling with hard-hitting matches and metal music, and that's really all it was. And I think a lot of people look at it with rose-colored glasses, and they listen to assholes like JD from New York put it over non-fucking stop, and then they build up this anticipation in their head of, oh my god, when he takes over WWE, it's going to be amazing. He takes over WWE, and he's dealing with a lot of the corporate restraints that Vince was dealing with. But just because you're dealing with corporate restraints does not mean that it has to be boring and that the storylines have to be bland. No, this is what Triple H booked in NXT Black and Gold. It's just because it was only an hour long and you had the fucking metal music and hard-hitting matches, it masked a lot of the fucking problems with the creative. Now that he's writing for the main roster, he's writing 2 hour shows at least every week, Raw and SmackDown, he can't mask it anymore. And now the fans are fucking bored, because at least with Vince, and I think why a lot of them want him back, is at least, Vince did a better job of building stars. Look what he did with Roman Reigns. Look what he did with the Bloodline. Look what he did with Judgment Day. He did a better job building stars than Triple H. Triple H has built nobody.
Nobody. And even his NXT black and gold darlings that he tried to build ended up being failures. Johnny Gargano was a multiple-time NXT champion. Same thing with Tommaso Ciampa. Fucking failures on the main roster, even under Triple H booking, mind you. It just, you see all the people who he picked as black and gold superstars, and they end up being fucking flops on the main roster. Everybody who he got behind, whether it be like a Bronson Reed, a Shinsuke Nakamura, even like Kevin Owens, he got behind people who had a lot of indie hype, but once they went to the main roster, they got exposed, because they're incomplete. Or they were lazy or undisciplined, whatever their fault was for that matter. So Gio was saying, and people thought Vince was selfish. For all his faults, Vince, he wanted to make sure that the people got a show, that the people got their money's worth. Triple H, I think deep down he might want to book a show for the fans and book a cheaper show. But, like my brother was saying, he's under the TKO constraints right now, and they're a very greedy company. And their greediness is going to really lead to Triple H's downfall. Yeah, it used to be, we were already saying, it was going to be one of those situations where Triple H's shitty booking is going to lead to TKO's downfall. Well, now it's a double-edged sword. Now TKO is leading to Triple H's downfall. Because all the shitty things, all the little greedy things that Mark Shapiro was doing to fuck the company up and really drive it into the fucking ground, Triple H is taking the blame for now. This is something we would never seen in 2024.
I'm literally looking right now at just, post after post after post of people reacting to, people saying to Triple H on Twitter, it's like, rehire Truth right now. And then it says, Papa, we need to have a conversation. Call me, dog. This person is a picture of Io Sky. It's like, bro, think he can act like nothing happened. Like, I'm just reading like all these people going after him. Whoever runs this page should relay to Triple H himself that us diehard fans are struggling to be fans after this most recent move of not keeping Ron Killings. When all your employees are shocked by it and all your fans are shocked by it, you made the wrong move. They're just going after him.
Good.
Like, we love our Truth. Like, yeah.
They should, because our Truth is beloved, man. And now I've heard complaints. One of our fans, Lisa Green, she was stating that she feels that it was the right move to do because our Truth, he's an old man, true, and his contract was lucrative. I mean, granted, he was only getting around, I believe, $550,000 a year, but then you add on top merchandise on top of that, all sorts of sponsorship opportunities that he had. The guy was making, on average, all things together, about $3 million a year. So he's doing very well for himself.
So people don't know this, but our Truth's shirt that he was just showing on SmackDown was the number one merch seller.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, is that you cut a guy who was just in the main event with a big star like John Cena and is on the top of your charts, literally number one. Our Truth, I hope he makes TNA a lot of money, because he's still a very entertaining guy, and he's one of those guys that just, he does not age. He's still in great shape. I still think he could probably go another 5 years in the ring. Go do your renaissance over in TNA. You know what I would love to see more than anything? I want to see him versus AJ Styles for the TNA title.
Okay.
I think that would be cool. You want to see two TNA legends go at it? I think that they could put on a good feud, a good storyline. It wouldn't be the wrestling match that people want to see, but I think Killings can wrestle. I mean, granted, he was up against John Cena. Meltzer didn't like it, but the guy's a good wrestler, okay? He's not just an entertainer. I'll say that much. A lot of people, they seriously underrate how good of a wrestler he is.
Well, I mean, the good thing about all this to me is that, Triple H is getting heat. And, it's... I think, like, when even the Smarks can agree that this motherfucker is ruining creative, like, that's your sign you got to fire the guy, TKO. And that's the thing, too, is, like, people are going to say, they're going to blame the ticket prices. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, they're expensive. No doubt about that. But what I think hurt the ticket sales more, and, well, let me clarify this. What I think also hurt the ticket sales was just the lack of interest in the show. There was no feud other than the fucking John Cena, Rock, and Cody Rhodes thing to care. Nothing else was worth caring about. Nothing, because the build to WrestleMania was lackluster. It was so lackluster that Triple H was going after fans, saying, "If you don't like it, fuck off." When he's saying that, he's reacting to the fans online, saying that this build is one of the worst I've ever fucking seen.
And they're right. For once, the fans are saying something that's truthful. They're not buying into the gaslighting. That's the craziest thing. Is like they usually would buy so much in the gaslighting, and now they're starting to think to themselves, "Hey, are these shows really sellouts, or are they just lying to us?" You know.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like, oh no,
go ahead. No, go for it.
Oh no, and that's what I was saying. It's like the good thing is that Jade, and the reason why I keep bringing up this motherfucker is he has got over 170,000 subs on YouTube. This motherfucker is influential, like, and he's the one who's been largely responsible for doing a lot of the protecting of Triple H. Oh, you can't blame Triple H. You got to blame WWE Creative, even though he runs WWE Creative. Oh, you can't blame Triple H. You got to blame TKO for raising ticket prices. No, it's getting to the point now where more and more people are drowning him out and saying, yeah, Triple H is responsible for this. We want Vince back. We're sick and tired of this boring fucking product that Triple H has created. So what I'm glad to see more than anything is that the fans are finally fucking standing up to not just Triple H, but to assholes like JD from New York who ruined this fucking product. Now, people say, oh, you're obsessed with him. But my point is that he's super fucking influential over the online wrestling audience. He then puts out videos that then mindless marks watch. They then parrot those opinions and they spread them throughout social media. The good thing is that those opinions are now being drowned out by logic, as they should be.
About time. You know, about time. So Alejandro was saying, Tony Khan will book Nikki Lyons better in AEW. I honestly don't think she's going to go to AEW. I really don't.
No.
And even then, I don't think she's Tony Khan's type of girl. She doesn't have the work rate needed. She doesn't have the indie cred needed. And I mean, it would be a good signing for him. I really think so, especially his women's division needs somebody like her. But I could see her honestly just going to TNA or WoW, or back to WoW. I hate to say it.
But honestly, like now that I think about it, like you look at like Harley Cameron, does not have this illustrious indie career. Anna Jay, same deal. Like, I think what Tony Khan is trying to do is he's trying to put more eye candy on his TV because he's at a point now where he's got to start drawing in ratings. He's got to start bringing in ratings, and when he's putting the hot chicks on TV, you're getting better viewership. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean he's learning. It's a learning process for him. So we'll see if he gets Nikita Lyons. I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
No.
Modest Music was saying those nose color glasses are starting to crack. Well, yeah, when you got a big ass nose like that, it's gonna fucking crack the glasses. Glasses weren't made for a fucking honker like that.
No, and people are seeing through the bullshit now, and that's the good news. Like above and beyond everything else, the good news is that people are finally waking up to the truth. They're seeing past the bullshit narratives of, oh, you can't blame Triple H, you got to blame WWE Creative. You can't blame Triple H, you have to blame TKO. You can't blame Triple H. Vince set this ball in motion, and Triple H is left to pick up the shit. You got to give him time to cook. Well, we gave him 2 fucking years to cook, and what have we gotten? We've gotten record low viewership, and we have shows that are not even selling out anymore here in America.
Well, and he should know more than anything. These fans are strictly, what have you done for me lately?
Of course.
If you're not giving them the epic bangers that they want on a big stage, they're gonna hate on you. If you're not giving them shitty women's wrestling, they're gonna hate on you. If you're not giving them LGBTQ, they're gonna fucking hate on you. If you don't give them safe gray characters they can't be heels, they're gonna hate on you. He's learning how they react to shit. It's even as stupid as a man that he is, he's slowly learning how they react to all these situations, and it's taken him time. I think it really hit the streak for him, though, WrestleMania week, where he's just like, damn it, you fucking ass, I'm a great booker. I got Booker of the Year. It doesn't matter if Dave Meltzer gives you Booker of the Year. It's what have you done for me lately? It's not just with Dave Meltzer. It's with all these fucking internet nerds. If you're not giving them their NXT black and gold bangers, and a lot of it is because TKO's constraints and they don't want that shit on TV. If you're not giving them shitty women's main events, and a lot of that is TKO's constraints, they don't want that shit on TV, then, they're going to complain. And you're going to be held responsible, which is something we wanted to see for the longest time. I am so sick and tired of seeing the scapegoats, the straw mans. More than anything, I just want to see this guy be held accountable. And now it's a possibility. This is why we haven't had to do too many Triple H's of bad bookers lately, is because these fans are finally fucking waking up. Yeah. It doesn't feel like we're yelling out into a void. It feels like people are like, all right, these guys are finally making some sense.
No, and I just think a lot of people like that were fans of Black and Gold loved being a part of that revolution. Like they felt like they were like the rebellious faction that was going against Vince McMahon, and they were eventually going to take over. And they took over. They got what they wanted. They got everything they wanted, and then some and more. And
it's
now
not
there's
enough.
something else to want. And now they're like, well, this kind of sucks. this is kind of boring. This is not what I was, hyping up in my head. It's like a lot of these assholes that wanted Sasha Banks to go over to AEW. They were hyping, oh, she's going to take over. She's going to be amazing. She's in the mid card. Like, well, this is not what I fucking pictured. Oh, Okada, he's going to go to AEW. He's going to kill it. He goes there and he's a goofy mid carder. That's not what I was picturing. So it's like they hype this fantasy up in their head, and when reality does not live up to it, they're like, oh. But I think a lot of them were still just trying to like fight for like, no, you got to give Triple H time. You got to give him time to cook. He baked the fucking roster to death, and now there's nothing left but like a charred fucking steak.
Dude, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing about his cooking is not only is it burnt, but it's been sitting on the back burner for so long that it's starting to mold and draw flies. It's like it's burnt, moldy shit. It's not good. This motherfucker is cooking cereal, okay? He's not cooking 5-star meals or anything like that, dude. And that's what people need to realize, is that his type of booking is so fucking easy. I shit you not. The dumbest fucking mark. Like, let's say, for example, Meat Wad, I think, could book circles around Triple H. JD even could book circles around Triple H. I dare I say it, Dave Meltzer could probably book circles around Triple H.
Probably could. I think he'd be more. I think he'd be more passionate. He'd have to really fight harder than. And the other thing too is like the reason why Triple H is not putting in the effort that he's putting in is he had so many fucking fans kissing his ass for the longest time. Well, when you have a scenario like that, Triple H could just mail it in, and people just make excuses for him, and he's like, oh, okay, well, just make excuses for me. Well, fucking who? I don't care. Well, and that's the problem. This is why you don't want to suck his dick as much as you are, Marks, because he will then fucking mail it in, and you will hate the product.
Well, he's a stupid man. They're stupid people as well. So it's just stupid people finding out about how stupid the other ones are. Triple H finally realized how fucking retarded his fan base are WrestleMania week, and he's like, well, they're really fucking dumb. It took you long enough, right?
They're gonna turn on me. Well, then fuck off.
Exactly. Hey, he's still got his yes men at the table, so he's still good. But Metalhead said, do you think Stephanie Vacquer will do well on the main roster? I personally feel she's going to do a very good job on the main roster, and the reason why is because Stephanie has that look. She's a snug wrestler, so she appeals to the IWC. She could definitely work on her promos. I would love it if they got her a competent manager. But when it comes to the in-ring stuff, the girl has it. I think she's one of the best in-ring wrestlers that WWE has right now. That doesn't equate to draws. There's this one fan who was like, oh, you said she doesn't draw, but you like her. Okay, well, those are two different things. Just because I like somebody in the ring doesn't mean that they draw. Stephanie Vacquer is a long way away from fucking drawing anybody. Now, granted, once more people see her, and especially her doing that booty bump move, that, she took Charlotte's move and made it way better. The move that Booker T always fucking jizzes to. So, like, that move right there, once casuals start seeing that move, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is some hot Latina. And once they see her, get better on the mic, maybe they'll like her even more. But, yeah, I think that, especially under a Triple H regime, the sky's the limit. I think her and Julia have some of the biggest upside right now on the main roster.
They do. Well, and the thing too is like he's putting himself in a position where he's going to have to build up some newer talents. He's going to have to, and so Stephanie Vacquer, Jordan Grace, I think will benefit from that.
Oh yeah, and I hate to say it, I that's why I'm so glad I don't watch SmackDown. Put Jordan Grace on there. That's the one show that I will not watch at all. So go ahead and put her on SmackDown. I don't care. But no, that's good for chicks like Stephanie Vacquer. For even Roxanne, I hate to say it, like Roxanne, she still sounds like a goat with its throat cut, on the mic. That's still how it is. But at the very least, I've seen Roxanne become more confident and become, I don't know, she's become more comfortable in the Roxanne Perez character on the main roster. Back in NXT, she seemed so scatterbrained and uncomfortable. Like she actually feels like she's, I don't know, getting more comfortable. I don't know. Is it maybe just me? I don't know.
No, I think she's getting a bit more comfortable on the main roster. I mean, she's taken to it quick, and hey, good for her. Also it could help that you got CM Punk there. To help my daughter out. Yeah. So
give her pointers.
Giving her pointers in the back in my hotel room. Oh yeah. If AJ calls, I put it on fucking hold.
Oh, so that's why they're called bullet points. Beat.
Beat points. Yeah.
Beat points. So yeah, it's just I think Stephanie Vacquer has a good upside. I think she's going to be a top level star. I would love to see her with like Armand Estrada or Conan on the mic. I think that would be cool. If they had You know, she's had some sort of manager like that. Or even Zelina Vega, fuck it. Have Zelina Vega stop the stupid wrestling bullshit, be the manager for Stephanie Vacquier. There you go.
Okay. I mean, because, yeah, it's like she doesn't really have many fans to be. I mean, I'm talking about Zelina Vega. Doesn't have many fans to begin with, and she's kind of been there, done that. I mean, you might as well just become a manager. What's wrong with doing that?
She was, I mean, I think she was very competent as Andrade's manager. I think that without the manager, Andrade wouldn't have had the career he did in NXT. I think she really helped become more than just a bland dude without a mask from Mexico. You know, she really gave him some sort of hierarchy and character. And I think she could do the same for Stephanie. I think that's where Zelina's a lot better. She wants to put so much emphasis on her, you know, going and being a wrestler and proving that she can do that. You know, this whole Mark shit that even Samantha Irvin wanted to do. Great. Okay, you proved it. Now go back to doing what you're good at and be a fucking ballet, you know?
Right. I agree. I totally agree. I think she should be a ballet, but unfortunately, she's a mark, and so she's probably going to want to wrestle in the ring and take unnecessary bumps and, you know, risk getting a serious injury because she needs to be respected by the other women in the back. Fuck them. They're brain dead marks that want to go out there and break their fucking neck for Triple H, for Papa H. No, don't be a fucking brain dead mark like them. Go be a manager. Help get Stephanie Vacquier over, and you know that could really benefit the business more than Zelina Vega wrestling for no fans.
Well, what is up with all these valets that want to quit what they're good at and stand out at and become just another boring women's wrestler on the roster that blends in with everybody else? It's like, that's what really trips me out about people like Maxine Dupree, Lana, and Zelina Vega. It's like you were standing out amongst all these other women. Like when you talk about managers and valets, you can mention these women, especially in a field that's as shallow as managers and valets. It's like they stand out. Why would you not want to stand out? Why would you just want to be another fucking jobber in the mix?
Because of pressure in the back. I mean, they put pressure. They'll. I think a lot of the female wrestlers, they'll look down on just the valets. Yeah, there's like, oh, you're just fucking eye candy. You go out there and you talk. Well, I actually put my body in the ring. I actually wrestle for the fans. It's because I can wrestle and you can't. Nah. I think that's what it is. It's just these are a bunch of fucking stuck up, pretentious asshole cunts like Zoe Stark who think, well, I don't need to go out there and look how I just need to wrestle. Yeah, and now you're out for fucking what, 8 to 9 months with a fucking ACL tear because you're a mark.
Dude, Miss Elizabeth's corpse is more over than any of these bitches, and she barely ever stepped in a ring.
Right. Well, it's why I, in a way, I know it's kind of like an asshole thing to do, but I feel no sympathy for these wrestlers that go out with injuries. I feel none, because we say to them every fucking week, don't take unnecessary risks, especially if you're on TV every week. Do not take unnecessary risks. Be safe. Do it right. And Zoe Stark didn't want to do it right. She went out there and said, I'm going to get myself over. Okay, now you're dealing with the fucking ACL tear, and you're going to be out for another 8 to 9 months. So fuck you.
Well, that's why these women will never compare to people like Miss Elizabeth, like Missy Hyatt, like Sunny, or even China for that matter. They won't compare to, or Sable. They won't compare to any Tori Wilson, any of Sable, or was it Stacy Keibler? None of these women. They won't compare to any of them. Because these women did not need to get by on the wrestling ability. They had that it factor that none of these fake marks have nowadays.
Yeah, it's just why a lot of these female wrestlers, they feel so much pressure. Oh, I got to get in the ring and I got to look like a fucking roided up. It's like the Cora Jade, thing she was talking about is she felt pressure that she wasn't buff enough, so she had to go in the gym and build more muscle. That's what's going on. Is there's a lot of fucking pressure in the back from a lot of these women to where they need to look, because that's what Triple H is favoring. They got to look as roided up as possible, and they have to be taken seriously for their wrestling ability. But I'm sorry, but not every fucking person needs to be a wrestler. Robert Stone doesn't need to be a wrestler. He's a good manager. Like, not everybody needs to be a wrestler. But unfortunately, there's pressure, and especially for the women, like there's even more pressure on them because they got to prove themselves. Like, the men feel like they're already established, so the women got to go out there and like really go over the top, prove themselves, and they're going out with injuries left and right. And you know what I say? I say good. You get what you fucking deserve when you want to be a fucking mark. It does not pay to be a mark.
Trial by error, folks. Trial by error. So thank you for joining us for this Triple H's Bad Booker. Join us over on the main channel for some news. NC.
JC and.
Peace out.